Hello everyone! Today is Disney's Hollywood Studios' 33rd anniversary, so today we're going to take a look around Hollywood Studios and talk a little bit about the history of it. Let's do this thing! A greeting guest since the first day of Disney's Hollywood Studios back at May 1st, 1989. The crossroads of the world has always stood here. A lot of the architecture that we're going to be looking at today is actually based on actual buildings that you can find over in actual Hollywood. Crossroads of the World is no exception. You can actually find a Crossroads of the World over in downtown Hollywood. Ooh, yeah. The only difference is they don't have the Mickey on top. Mickey's of Hollywood is the first shop that you actually find here on Hollywood Boulevard. Originally, the storyline actually had it so that you went through the years with Mickey. So the architecture on the outside of the building is actually reminiscent of the 1920s, and inside you would actually find Steamboat Willie. And then in the second section of the store, you would find inside the band concert Mickey, and the outside of the building is reminiscent of the architecture in the 1930s. And then the final section of the store actually was reminiscent of the 1940s with Fantasia Mickey inside. Just a little bit of architecture fun here. Oh yeah. Let's keep on walking around. Alright, we've made our way over here to Sunset Boulevard. Sunset Boulevard feels like it's been around here since the park first opened. However, it actually didn't open up until 1994. Prior to this, the spot where I'm standing right now was actually home to Theater of the Stars. Theater of the Stars, of course, is where Beauty and the Beast Live on Stage plays now at the end of Sunset Boulevard. However, originally the theater was actually found here, and then was relocated after Sunset Boulevard was created. Alright, towards the end of Hollywood Boulevard, you can find the director statue, along with one of the few spots where we actually still have a Disney MGM Studios reference right here. This is going to be the opening day plaque where it says, "The world you've entered was created by the Walt Disney Company and is dedicated to Hollywood, not a place on the map, but a state of mind that exists wherever people dream and wonder and imagine, a place where illusion and reality are fused by technological magic. We welcome you to a Hollywood that never was and always will be. May 1st, 1989, Michael D. Eisner." One of my favorite little fun facts about this area is you can find a book right over here. On that book, if you actually can stand at the right angle and zoom in, is a bunch of different names on there. On the names are all of the different people who actually helped make Disney's Hollywood Studios a reality, including people like Michael Eisner, Roy O. Disney, and several others. Oh yeah, Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway. Clearly this is not an opening day attraction. This opened up in 2020, March 4th to be exact. Originally there was 3 different attractions that were found here at Disney MGM Studios. One of them was the Great Movie Ride, which was found here. Another one, and we're going to head to in just a second, which was the Magic of Disney Animation. And then the final one was the Studio Backlot Tour. But all of the buildings here are mainly replicas of different buildings you can find in Hollywood, like we said earlier. And this one is no different. This is going to be a replica of the Chinese Theater over in downtown Hollywood. Okay, the archway that can be found here obviously has gone through a few different changes, the most notable one being the fact that it says Disney Hollywood Studios now instead of Disney MGM Studios. However, this has been around since opening day, and it always has one of my favorite details on it. If you ever watch my Disney Details series, then you know that on the archway here you can have an animator who is drawing Donald Duck. Then on the other side over here we have a film creator who is watching a film of Goofy. Alright, we're going to head into Star Wars Launch Bay. Originally on opening day, this was the home of the Magic of Disney Animation. We're going to walk through and kind of point out a few different fun facts dealing with that right now. In addition to a lot of Hollywood stars putting their handprints here on opening day, we also had over here at one point different animators, some of the 9 old men that worked on some of the famous Disney animated films. They used to have their handprints here as well, along with some pencils. Unfortunately, they disappeared when the Magic of Disney Animation disappeared. There's a link though, I'll put a link right up here for a video that I had created dealing with that a long time ago. So at one point you can meet characters here, but long before that there is also different character meet and greets down here. But even before that, you could walk through this area and actually watch different animators create different Disney animated films. Let me know in the comments if you guys ever watched that live in person. I vividly remember back in like 1991, 1992, watching someone actually doing the drawings for Pride Rock for The Lion King, long before The Lion King was even a thing. Really cool. So The Little Mermaid, the film, came out in 1989. However, this opened up in 1992 Prior to this was Here Comes the Muppets. Who remembers Here Comes the Muppets? That was a hilarious show. You can still find it on YouTube. So our final opening day attraction was the Studio Backlot tour, which is actually found right behind this wall before they closed it up. This area right here used to be Pixar Place. Before that, this was the entrance of Toy Story Midway Mania. Eventually it became, or originally it was the home for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Play It, and before that it was a studio where you could actually come here and watch different movies being filmed. Lots of history in this building. Still has Toy Story Midway Mania on the other side of this wall right here. You just can't get in this side. You have to go through the other side over in Toy Story Land. So the park has gone through several different park icons throughout the years. It started off with the Eiffel Tower, and then it went over... Oh,
I've got
Rex
something important to say. So important that the pressure is almost too much to handle. Okay, here goes. Help!
So it was the Eiffel Tower, was the original park icon. And then it became the Sorcerer's Hat when that was added back in 2000. And then after the Sorcerer's Hat disappeared, it went back to the Eiffel Tower, and now it is the Tower of Terror. However, the Eiffel Tower kind of still stands around, because right where the tower is, where Rex stands, is where the Eiffel Tower used to stand as well. Alright, Galaxy's Edge opened back in 2019 and took up a huge chunk of real estate. Prior to this being here, this was actually the home of the Studio Backlot tour for the majority of it. However, there was one other attraction that this replaced. Let's go take a look at a reference of that. The other attraction it replaced was Lights, Motors, Action, and if you look right here, the Arabesh that's found there is actually an L, M, and A for Lights, Motors, Action. And then this little section right here is actually the speedometer that used to be found in the logo for Lights, Motors, Action. Oh yeah. Alright, down over this way was where Streets of America once sat, and over here was where Honey, I Shrunk the Kids play area once sat. Now if you look up here, there's actually a billboard up here. That billboard was originally a billboard featuring Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the movie. However, as soon as that disappeared, they actually switched out that billboard still to this day, even though you can only see it from this angle. And it always features something that's brand new with the Disney company. Right now it's for the Star Wars The High Republic book series. So check that out next time you're here. This is kind of our first expansion of Disney's Hollywood Studios. This is Muppet Vision 3D, which opened up back in 1991. Prior to this, this was just kind of like a little expansion of the Streets of America section. They got rid of the balloon a few years ago, and it still makes me sad. Remember the Kermit balloon up there, the hot air balloon? Oh, I loved it so much. In addition to the Muppet section back here, we also have a little bit of the Streets of America back here. Over here was actually where the theater for the Hunchback of Notre Dame show was, but this is the only building that still remains for Streets of America in this section of the park, unfortunately. Star Tours was not an opening day attraction, however, it was an opening year attraction. It opened up here in 1989 after it originally opened up in Disneyland back in 1987. However, here at Disney's Hollywood Studios, they wanted to keep that idea of the movie magic alive, where you kind of reveal the curtain from below you. So if you're on the one side, it looks like an AT-AT, but if you're on the other side, it's clearly a facade, because it's movie magic here. Even though we don't have any opening day attractions that are still found at Disney's Hollywood Studios, we do have an opening day restaurant in the form of Backlot Express Restaurant. While you walk around, you can find different movie props and different props from different attractions around here. So next time you're here, kind of walk around and take a look at some of them. Even though Star Tours was an opening year attraction, it's not the oldest attraction in the park. The oldest attraction is actually Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, which opened up in August of that year. About 20-some days after the park actually opened up, the third Indiana Jones film, Indiana Jones The Last Crusade, opened up, and with it were some of the ride vehicles that you can find here, including the tank and the Jeep. Both of these were actually featured in Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, and still sit here today. Alright, our final attraction we're going to be taking a look at today is here at the Hyperion Theater. The Hyperion Theater has been home to several different attractions throughout the years, including Superstar Television back in 1989, and then eventually it would become Doug Live, American Idol Experience, and now it's home to Frozen the Sing-Along. Yay! Echo Lake has also been a staple of the park since it first opened up back on May 1st, 1989. If you actually look at it from above, it's actually a giant circle. That's because this was actually part of the world's largest hidden Mickey at the time. The head of Mickey is found in front of the Grumman Chinese Theater. This was his right ear, and then his other ear used to actually be made up of one of the buildings over there as well. You could actually see the outline from the sky. It was actually made on top of the roof, painted on. Okay, that is gonna wrap up our video for today. Let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite Disney MGM or Disney's Hollywood Studios attraction of all time? Of course, as always, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe by pushing this button right down here. Until tomorrow, we'll see you tomorrow. Oh yeah.